Welcome to today's 5 Good Minutes on the 10 Commandments. Today we'll be considering the 5th commandment with Bjorklund.
So honor your father and mother, even if they're not totally honorable. Over the next couple of days, I'd like to just talk about what that means at different phases of life. So today I want to talk about what it means when you're young. My guess is if you're young, meaning grade school age, you're not rocking the 5 Good Minutes podcast. So I realize I'm not really speaking in this context to somebody who is at the age where honoring your parents really means explicit obedience. So I do want to just talk for a moment to parents about this, because having your kids learn to honor you is something that starts young. And this involves training them to obey. And I've just called this explicit obedience, meaning that there's not an undercurrent of rebellion and resistance in your kids. Now, any child will have some moments of resistance and rebellion. But what I'm referring to here is the idea that you instill in your young children the idea that you are a good and loving parent and that obeying you is right and good and proper. Because what you're doing when you do that is you're laying a foundation for their adolescent years, for their adulthood, for their relationship with God. And if you fail to do that when your kids are young, you are failing to give them the foundation that will help them to ultimately be able to form a healthy pattern in their life. And one of the ways that I've thought about this over the years, and if you've heard me talk on parenting, you've probably heard this, but I think when your kids are young, what this means is insisting on first-time obedience. Certainly there's a time for kids to come back and question and all that comes with that, especially as they get older. But have you ever been in a store and seen a parent who says to little Billy, who got out of the cart and ran down the aisle and grabbed the ho-hos and is running away from his mom or dad with ho-hos, and the mom says, "Hey Billy, stop it. Hey Billy, stop it. Billy, stop it. Billy, come here." And Billy says, "No." And they're like, "Hey Billy, look, listen. I'll buy you the ho-hos. Just come here, put them in the cart, and let's not make a scene. Come on." And so they start negotiating with Billy. And then Billy continues to run around, and they finally kind of lose their stuff, and they say, "Hey, Billy, I mean it. Come over here right now." And then they do this trick that parents often do. "Billy, 1, 2, 3. And all of a sudden, Billy scampers over to the cart, and he puts the ho-hos in, and he's like, okay. Mom or dad got serious when they started to count, and I could wait all the way till 3 because that's when they mean what they say. And what you've done, if you foster that kind of obedience in your kids, is you are fostering not first-time obedience, not explicit obedience, but disobedience until they get to a point where they know you're serious. So why not make your first command the serious command and train or teach your kids to be obedient rather than not be obedient? And what you're doing is you're teaching them to honor you and honor the role of parent and ultimately how to honor God. And so when a child is young, I think honoring looks like explicit obedience, doing what mom and dad say the first time, right away, with a good attitude as much as is possible. And as I said, there's a time for a child to say, "Well, wait a second, I really want to run around the store with ho-hos, and this seems reasonable to me." But the time isn't in the middle of the incident. It's generally when you get out to the car for Billy to say, and again, especially as Billy gets a little older, I really thought it was reasonable today that I could run around the store with ho-hos. Can you explain to me why I was not allowed to run around the store with ho-hos? And that is the way that honoring works at this phase of life.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to check out all our content and podcasts on Orchard Hill Plus. You can find that and so much more on our website or the Orchard Hill app.